Have we said before on this show, one of my favorite quotes of all time, Pablo Picasso said, good artists
copy, great artists steal. And we have always been shameless about stealing great ideas.
Yeah, so it turns out that they're far better than us at art.
Right.
Lost in space, but that's okay. Climb aboard the brand spaceship today.
Hey everybody, this is the Brand Spaceship, and this is the episode, the one you've been waiting for, the one where it's finally proven that we're actually legitimate because the biggest brand in the world, the biggest agencies in the world, the biggest production companies in the world, they copied us.
Can you do that?
There's a dog in your background? It sounds very angry that people copied us.
That's Holtby. He has the Napoleon complex. He's this big, so...
Is it your dog?
Yeah.
His name's Napoleon?
No, he has a Napoleon complex. His name is Holtby, which is not any...
What? Holtby?
Yeah. Holtby, Holtby. So...
That's not true.
It's true.
Okay, so here's the thing. About a year and a half ago, maybe I should just shut up, and I'm going to share... Alongside this recording of the Brand Spaceship, we are putting together a little video expressing the moments of similarity. I will go ahead and share that because a picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say. Let's accept all this crap. All right, that's where I want to start. I am one of these people who believes that for some reason ideas come to many different people at the same time. We see this happen all the time, whatever it is. If you want to get all spiritual about it, there's just a moment where something's supposed to exist and a bunch of people somehow get it. That happens all the time. Now, I have had many people in my career tell me a couple different things. One is get really mad about how their ideas got stolen by different companies.
Son of a bitch stole my idea.
And also simultaneously say, like, that's when you know you've arrived, when someone takes your ideas. Like, if they take your ideas, that means your ideas are good. That means you play at the same level as them. And when they say this, they're often complaining, though. They're like, I should have got $1 bajillion, and I didn't get $1 bajillion, and I actually invented the iPhone, or whatever they're saying. like they have some idea, someone else took it, they deserve things. So I don't care. My default is not to be mad in any way. In fact, I'm just proud, right? Because we came up with something a year and a half ago that, though the videos aren't completely the same, there are some things that are very, very obvious. And in that little video, cutting back and forth, you see what it is. One, obviously, is the very beginning is the beginning of the universe, right? The edge of the universe, the Big Bang. That's okay. Maybe
we invented the Big Bang. You invented the
no. This is what I mean. There's no rule against us being the only ones who can do commercials that include the Big Bang. So first I see that, I'm like, that seems like it, but not so much. Then I was like, oh, well, we entered through the clouds into the Earth. It's again pretty similar. The titanium rocks look like our rocks, pretty similar. And then, but the only reason why I was like, the way I am very confident that it was taken directly from ours is the chanting. And the reason is not because, again, we have this ownership of chanting. It's just a super uncommon thing to put into a commercial. And it's something that I personally pitched and talk about. I talk about it as the sound of creation because I think chants sound cool in commercials. I giggle that this isn't an Apple commercial because my presumption was when I pitched it to OnePlus and in general when I try to use it, that I will be told this needs to be removed because it's weird. And on top of that, it's not like we watched a commercial that had this and just grabbed the sound. The sound is a reference to a movie called Koyaanisqatsi, which I said wrong, which is a weird documentary about the world from 1982. Like if I was referencing something from 2022, right? And there had been some movie that done it, I'd be like, yeah, okay, like we both had the same idea. But for me to reference a random movie from 1982 for that sound. Wow, 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 wow. Which, by the way, what I actually find funny, the one in the Apple commercial sounds more like the sound I made. Like, I wish we had recorded me pitching this. Yeah, like, I was like, this is what it sounds like. Wow, wow, wow. Because I was like, what does the invention of the universe sound like? And that was the sound I came up with. And it was because I remembered seeing Koyaanisqatsi. And let's play that trailer because you'll see that it's a random-ass movie.
There's no way I'm spelling that correct.
Okay, I'll pull up Koyaanisqatsi.
Thank you, producer Ryan.
Yeah, producer Ryan for sure. Francis Ford Coppola presents 1982's weirdest.
Close to that spelling.
Critics around the world have called it a remarkable film event, a breathtaking experience, a fusion of image and sound.
There it is.
Okay, so about it.
All
right. We've seen enough to prove that this is a valid reference, right? Okay, so the truth is, I forget if these are called alternative documentaries. There's some term for this type of documentary that is just weird. Another one's Samsara. There are a few other like famous ones, but they're really only famous to nerdy film people who are interested in alternative documentary.
Right.
It's too random. So once I heard that, I was like, oh, they just took a, you know, they just like whole cloth. Now, here's the reality of what I think happened. I believe, I'm just going to pitch to you what happened. Somebody is given this opportunity to pitch for an Apple commercial. It is the biggest opportunity of their life. They're like, oh my God, because this is how I would be. Commercial, like, oh crap, the launch of the iPhone, I better not mess this up. Titanium, oh gosh, don't know. Probably, they said, titanium, where is titanium? And they went asteroids, something like that, right? Meteors, something like that.
They called their phone a friend, Mr. Scientist.
What they did, maybe they didn't even think about that, but I believe that they watched every phone launch commercial for the last 3 years. And they went, oh, this one's like this one's like what we're doing. And frankly, I think this was their second pitch. I think they had a pitch and they pitched it that was very unique.
James Bond does not use an iPhone.
And it just got shit on.
That's because he's a degenerate.
It just got, no, we're not doing that. So they went, I don't know what to do. And they were stressed out. And so they just delivered a pitch deck that was just a straight ripoff. And it got picked. Now, whether that happened or not, it doesn't matter. It's very obvious that some lovely creative folks.
Because we've been thinking wrong.
And Apple have copied our work. We're not here to argue we should be paid for this, right? But like, if you got some extra cash, you can send it our way. But really, we're here in celebration of the fact that you should hire us next time. No anger, we'll trade hands. We will not be frustrated with you. We are just proud of the fact that we made something cool enough that the biggest brands, the biggest creatives in the world decided to copy it. And because of that, here's my promise. We'll do it cheaper.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Hire us next time. Yeah. Like my guess, my estimate, is, and somebody might watch ours and be like, well, theirs is clearly much better. My estimate would be ours was like 4 to 6x cheaper.
Yeah.
That's my estimate. We're going to do 2 for the price of 1 for you next time. And we're still going to make more money than we made on the other one. So you're going to be happy. You're getting double the business and you're getting it from the source, right? There's no cutting this up. This is the pure stuff, right? This is pure creative energy.
This is pure glass. You're a goddamn artist. This is art.
This is, from American Gangsters.
When you chop my dope down and then you call it blue magic, that is trademark infringement. You understand what I'm saying?
We're that blue magic. We're not cutting stuff up, okay? Not sure drug references are acceptable, but here we are. Just like Koyaanisqatsi.
Koyaanisqatsi.
But I would love to chat with whoever decided to copy us. You got any questions, Jared?
Yeah.
This is pretty straightforward episode.
Well, I'm really interested in the idea of, and this is something that Rick Rubin writes about this in Creative Act, there being signals to the universe of creativity.
I believe this.
Yeah, I've seen it more and more as well. And, whether or not this is an example of that, or if this is an example of just straight up like, oh, we saw this. And
no, I would believe this was an example of that if it had been closer to when we released it, one. And two, if it didn't have so many specific copies. Like the macro shots are similar, involve like fire versus lava. It starts with an explosion. It has this really random reference to Koyaanisqatsi with the sound in the background. If this is a coincidence, my goodness, it's a lot of coincidence. So Raz on our team posted this link. He's like, I think they copied us. I literally paid no attention. I was just like, they probably didn't. I doubt it. I doubt Apple copied us. And then I watched it and I laughed. I sent it to the creative director. So we did it with an agency called XDA. Anna there, who runs creative for XDA. Hopefully I said the title correctly. Whatever. She's big creative wizard over there. And frankly, she was blown away. I sent this to my wife. And my wife thought it was a joke. That's the first time I pitched something that was really just like from me for a commercial that I didn't think was really commercial in concept. It was much more narrative and storytelling. And that so happens to be the one that the largest brand in the world copied. So maybe go with your gut. Maybe that's the actual lesson here. What's the over under on this is a coincidence from your perspective? Honestly.
Ooh, okay. I'd put the over-under on coincidence at 30%.
I'm going to go higher. I would have gone 50% without the chanting. With the chanting, I'm going 10. I don't think, I've never heard the chanting.
The Michigan J
I've never
Frog.
heard it in a commercial.
Yeah.
It's way too specific and random. And the fact that it's like if it was just the chanting, I'd be like, cool. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Coincidences, that's like one thing. That's like a topic. Why are there... Well, this gets into, it's like, why are there so many Sherlock Holmes stories at the same time? It's like, well, it's about making money. But also, it could really be that society is ready for a story like this. So there are a lot of them circulating. But it's going to be one piece. Once you're at 2, it's unlikely. Once you're at 3, it's super unlikely. In our case, I feel like there's 4, and one of them is really weird. It starts with the explosion. It involves these asteroids, right? They fly through obvious clouds, which it doesn't have to happen that way. That was a choice we made as a cool transition, which was also copied. And it's the freaking chanting. And if it was the first 3, I would be like, Oh, and by the way, there's 5, which is these macro shots are pretty simple. So it's all like from the edge of the universe, then macro shots of the phone. Ours has a lot of other stuff, but you could literally cut our ad to almost be an identical edit of theirs. Ours is a minute, theirs is 30 seconds or whatever, 30.
The colors and the palette of the spots are very, very similar.
It's really, I don't even know if I believe 10. This is a copy.
I have been thinking about these types of examples, whether they be copies or whether they be similar creative signals. I remember reading William Gibson, who wrote Neuromancer and a bunch of classic sci-fi books, saw Blade Runner while he was writing one of his books, and he thought, I can't release my book anymore. This is basically, it's the same thing. And then eventually he got over that and he wrote it anyways.
So one of the things, as I talk about someone copying us, it's like, one, just make shit. If you got a copy, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not even mad that we're copied. We're excited that the biggest company in the world copied us. But also recognize that a lot of the people who have something to say, this is what I'm getting at, because you told the story of William Gibson. It's like, when people have something to say, they're very concerned that it's not theirs to say, that it's already been said. And if you're thinking that way, I have a feeling you should say it. Does that track?
Yeah.
It's very different from copying.
It totally tracks. And I also think that everybody has a different perspective on similar themes and similar ideas. Even if there are components that are directly the same as something else, there's always going to be your unique perspective that can be injected into the art, which is valuable.
Which is why I find it funny that in a 30-second ad, there are 5 things that are copies from us. I'm wondering what they injected.
Right. And well,
really high-end 3D. They got some dope shots. Yeah. That 3D is real nice. I think they had a longer timeline than us.
Expensive.
A little more cash.
Have we said before on this show, one of my favorite quotes of all time, Pablo Picasso said, good artists
copy, great artists steal. And we have always been shameless about stealing great ideas.
Yeah, so it turns out that they're far better than us at art.
Right. But like a great artist will take an idea and say, oh, that's mine now. How do I make it my own, right? Taking the ability. So I have a jab for you along these lines.
Let's go.
I want to thank our sponsor because today's jab is brought to you by Red Rock Runners. When earthly shoes just won't make the leap, rock the red with every tread. with red rock runners.
And this is like Mars shoes?
It's shoes made on Mars. Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Good
it's
job.
great.
Run like there's no atmosphere.
I'm going to use that every day I go for a run. I'll be like, pretend the atmosphere does not exist. Okay, what's your jab?
Okay. To what extent do you think anybody can own ideas?
Oh, I don't think anyone owns ideas. Fundamentally, I do not believe anyone owns ideas. That's why we're just like kind of kicking this around. This is more fun than it is. There's not an ounce of like frustration with me.
Okay, anybody else feel like there's something up with this guy?
Okay, so there's a couple things here. One, you can't own ideas, right? However, if you have an idea, you then execute it, and then somebody obviously takes your idea and executes the same thing, I start to be like,
what is wrong?
Well, I mean,
hey! Zuckerberg stole our website.
Maybe you should get some credit. But in this case, like the credit that I'm aiming for is like, hey, I bet we're more cost effective than whoever the hell you hired to make this. Why don't you just hire us? They just took our idea. I don't think we own the idea. For me, it's just like clearly we're better at whatever they were aiming to do because all that happened was someone spent more money and copied us. So like just call the source.
Yeah, totally.
Ideas are simultaneously the only thing and also not that important. Without an idea, you can't execute, but without execution, okay, cool. We're stoners talking about theories.
Right. Yeah. That's why everybody has like, one of these days I'm going to finish that. I have this idea for
Yeah, I have 100 script ideas that are half baked to quarter baked or whatever. But I've only written 3 scripts in my career. Those are the only ones I think I have any say of like, I made that. Okay, so let's take that further. If somebody took my script, copied it, and made it, what would I do? I still don't think I'd sue them. Like I showed this to somebody and they're like, are you gonna sue them? And I hadn't even thought about it, right? I was just like, no, it's just funny. Like the biggest company in the world stole our idea. And I only say steal because it's inflammatory, not because I'm mad, right?
Yeah, it's for the clicks, baby. It's for the clicks.
For the clicks. Yeah, like let's just get it. Let's get some attention here. But no one owns an idea. You have more right to it, maybe, the more work you've put in. But at the end of the day, I don't believe when I've written scripts, it's felt like I'm receiving them.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first commercial. This commercial was the first one where I really received it the way I'd receive a script. Instead of being like, okay, so they want to launch a phone and the phone is about this. What can I do? I went, nope, okay. And I just sat there and I went, the phone is coming from the edge of the universe. It started at the Big Bang and we went through the history of time and it landed here with us. And I went, okay, that's where we are. Like that's where we are. Let's go. Right. So it doesn't feel like it's mine. If you were to ask me what I believe that ideas basically exist in the ether. Whether you want to believe in God or not, I don't really care. But every concept, I think they say everything's already been written. I think that's because it has been, whether that's a parallel dimension or in another state or whatever, it just exists out there. Every piece of art exists out there. And it's just whether or not you're the individual that's able to bring it through your mind and out into the world in a way that others can experience is really what's going on. So because of that, I don't think anyone owns an idea. But if you've gone through the legwork to bring it out into existence, I still don't think there's like ownership. But maybe we should care who had it first. Maybe. But also, I'm not asking for anyone to validate that we did it. I just think it's fun to to point this out. It just makes me know that we are at the highest level, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's validating.
That's cool. It makes me want to make something.
So Apple, come at us. We're ready. Bring that cash. We're ready.
We won't sue you, but we'll buy you a beer. Or you buy us a beer.
We'll take the beer, the contract, and a firm apology. No, much love. This has been the Brand Spaceship. Today we talked about IP law. No, I'm kidding. Today we looked at the fact that the biggest brand in the world decided to copy us, which is just a giant compliment.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for making us feel good about ourselves today, Apple.
Tell you what, next episode we explore how Harry Potter was actually our idea. So we'll see you that time.
It's going to be epic. The true hero's journey.